doing my thumbnail for my shorts. I hope everyone is having a awesome what's today? Wednesday. Yay. This week is going. Okay, by real fast. Yeah. What's up, everyone? So I wanted to do this video today to talk about the interview. Is my phone lagging? Looked like it was lagging. But I wanted to do this interview. Um, interview. This video about the interview that Rick Rose, I guess, Ross had with the PBD um, podcast on YouTube. I feel like this is too close. So if you don't know, there is a YouTube channel named PBD, and I actually love watching the guy. I think he's so handsome. I think his name is David, the host there. But yeah, he always have great interviews, great people to interview. Like you can just gain a lot of information from watching his channel. And he talks about everything. He interviews everyone. I believe he even had Trump on his podcast once upon a time. So like he'll have anyone on there. But I want to talk about the interview that Ricky Rose Ross did with David from the PBD podcast. So I was real surprised. What's up, Chris? I was real surprised that, see, I didn't know that Ricky Ross, I don't know why I keep calling him Ricky Ross, Rose, because that's what David kept calling him, Rose. Rose, I didn't know he had beef with Drake or with 50 Cent. Now, child, this video came out yesterday. Okay, so you already know 50 Cent probably about to come at old boy hard, but he might not come at him hard. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I believe on June 12th, Rick Ross is putting out his album. He's doing an album, so I guess that's why he wanted to get some publicity and do some interviews to promote his album. Well, I would say I feel like this here. I feel like Rick Ross is a fraud. I feel like he a fraud. I don't care. Y'all say what you want to say. I really believe he's a fraud. Now, a paid fraud, because he looks like he knows how to manage his money. He has a lot of deals, look like. He has a wrap snack, potato chip. He has beer. I believe he has a book that he published. He has that huge house. I believe the house is like 55,000 square foot or something. Um, Beautiful house. He also has his car show that he does every year. People love that car show, and I actually wanted to go to it once upon a time. And I'm not saying that the business deals he make are not good. What I'm saying is he just seems like a fraud to me. His ego is up there. I mean, child, it's in the sky. Okay, we're gonna be honest. His ego is in the sky, and I feel like because of that ego, it just he better hope this album is good. But anyway, let's talk about the interview. So, of course, David asked him about his beef with Drake, and he was saying Drake wasn't good. He wasn't a good artist. He likes to sue. He said oh, thank you for subbing. I appreciate it. He said he likes to sue. He said he's almost pretty much trying to say that Drake's like a crybaby or whatever. But I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I'm not even going to go on that. But, he was talking mad junk about Drake and 50 Cent, y'all. Oh my goodness. He even went as far as to talk about how 50 Cent baby mama was on Star Island, and Rick Ross has a house on Star Island. And he said, David was asking him, how did he feel about 50 Cent? And he was like, well, he said, I met Bruce Leroy. And he was like, who is Leroy? And he said, that's 50 Cent's son, the little Asian kid, the little Asian looking kid. And he was like, he's Asian? And he was like, the little Asian kid. So, of course, they pulled the little boy up on the screen. And he was like, well, did 50 Cent bring him to meet you or something? And Rick Ross said, no. Rick Ross said, no, his mom was on Star Island doing whatever. And, so I took her son fishing. And he was like, I call him Bruce Leroy. And David was like, oh, wow. So what I didn't like about David was it seemed like he was really going after some beef with Rick Ross and everybody, 50 Cent, Drake, and of course Freeway, Rick Ross. We're gonna get to that, okay? So he just kept stirring the pot. And it made me feel like, I'm gonna be honest, give my honest opinion. I really felt like he stirred the pot with him. I don't know, because to be honest, David will stir a pot. He will, because I seen him stir a pot with he did an interview with the guy who I forgot the guy name, but he used to be on YouTube and he would be talking about and the bird. I don't know if I'm saying it right. The Bilderbergs or whatever. What is that guy name? I actually like his content also because they used to call him a conspiracy theorist back in the day, but he actually is like telling stuff that makes sense. But they have really put their foot on his neck, and like he's going through it real bad. He's not allowed to get a podcast on no social media platforms. He always talk about the Bilderbergs. I forgot, it's a white guy. But anyway, on that interview, David stirred the pot with him on that. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. He definitely stirred the pot on all the beef that Ricky Ross has with anybody. Okay, but Rick Ross, he was upset. I mean, he wasn't really upset to talk about 50 Cent. He said that 50 Cent lived in a 2-bedroom apartment. He said 50 Cent doesn't have any money. He said he's bankrupt. He doesn't have any money. He said he lives in a 2-bedroom apartment. And David was like, what do you mean? He looked it up and said he's worth 100 million. He was like, those numbers are fake. They're fake. He said he didn't make any money. He was getting like he got paid $10,000 for making the Power movie or TV show, whatever. He said he only got paid 10,000. He said the actors were complaining about not being paid much. They didn't make much. They said they didn't make much money from that TV show. Now I don't know if that's true. I haven't did my research on that, but I thought it was real messy. And then in my opinion only, allegedly, I think Rick Ross and Diddy are real close. I think they are probably closer than close. Okay. So David asked him about Diddy as well. He asked him, has he spoke to Diddy since he been locked up? And Rick Ross said no, he hasn't. He says he's been busy and doing whatever. And he was just like saying pretty much Diddy's a good guy. And then he moved on, and David was asking him about Drake, and he was, talking mad junk about Drake, saying that Drake liked to sue. And then David was trying to get into how much money Drake is worth, and he didn't even want him to pull that up. He was like, nah, you doing too much or something. And I thought that was weird because I wonder if his numbers would look bigger, if Drake numbers would look bigger than Rick Ross numbers. I wonder. So then at the end of the podcast, right? So David asked Rick Ross about Freeway Rick Ross, right? Now, I don't know if you guys know the story about Freeway Rick Ross and Ricky Rose Ross. Okay. If you don't, let me break it down to you real quick. Okay. So allegedly back in like the 70s, 80s, something like that, Freeway Ricky Ross was supposedly a huge drug dealer with the D. They said he was making millions of dollars a day, okay, as doing that position or being in that line of work. Then he got locked up. But before he got locked up, I believe allegedly they said that he was an informant. So I think that's probably how he got out of jail so soon, because I believe allegedly he was an informant, and so they probably lowered his time. And I'm only saying that because I did hear, and David acknowledged that as well, that Freeway Ricky Ross was an informant, and he interviewed Freeway Ricky Ross. He had him on his show, and that's why he brought him up. And he said that so Freeway Ricky Ross went to jail. He went to prison, and then he was in prison a long time. When he came out, he did a book. He went on like this whole tour, and he was telling everyone how Rick Ross stole his persona, stole his name, stole his persona, far as like what he used to do. He was a huge drug dealer with the D. Everybody knew him, and so he said, because he's done plenty of interviews, Freeway Ricky Ross. He says that he had a conversation with Rick Ross, and he told him while he was locked up, he told him that he was going to give him some money. He told him that he admired him, that he looked up to him, and he was going to throw him some money. He said he acknowledged the fact that he did use his name and his persona, because allegedly Ricky Rose Ross has never been a drug dealer. Okay? If you don't remember, he was a correctional officer. Okay? So, and then he ended up getting into the music industry. So, anyway, we'll get back to that. So, this is what Freeway Ricky Ross said. He spoke with him over the phone when he was locked up. Rick Ross said that he was going to pay him some money, and he said he never did. He said he was going to put some money on his books. He never did. When he got out of jail, he attempted to sue Rick Ross twice, and he lost both times. Now, when you talk about these court cases against these celebrities, you have to remember that they're celebrities, okay? Because I do believe that the system is corrupt, and depending on how much money you have will depend on the outcome of your case. Now, a case like that for two regular people no one know about, Freeway Ricky Ross probably would have won his case, the first case, and he wouldn't even have to do a second case. But he didn't win. And so Ricky Rose Ross was saying how he got upset when David brought up Freeway Ricky Ross. I mean, his whole demeanor changed. So much so that was like the end of the show, the podcast. Y'all go check out that interview that was done yesterday on the PBD podcast with host David, and he interviewed Ricky Rose Ross. But he got all the way upset about that. He didn't even want to talk anymore. He kept bigging up Jay-Z, saying Jay-Z was in his top 5. He kept talking about Jay-Z at the beginning of the interview. I thought that was real strange. But he got hella upset when David brought up Freeway Ricky Ross. And on the podcast, David put a couple facts on there, right? So one of the facts was he asked Ricky Ross if he was a correctional officer for 18 months. And he was like, nah, it was way less than that. So he put up he put up a little fact check from what Rick Ross said. Nah, it was way less than that. And then he put up another little, I don't know what you call that. It wasn't I don't know if it's a fact or right up under that he put some information saying that when they looked up his employment history, it looks like he worked there from December of 1 year until like 2 years later, or almost 2 years later. So, indeed, it looked like he did work as a correctional officer for 18 months. Now, if you don't know, when Rick Ross came out as a rap artist, okay, he had a long, decent run as a rapper. And then folks start coming out saying that he wasn't a drug dealer with the D, he was a correctional officer. And he denied it. He denied it. He did interviews saying that he was never a correctional officer. He denied it, denied it, denied it. And then eventually, as his career got bigger, he started getting, I guess, the attention of big artists like Diddy. Then he admitted that he was the correctional officer, but he said he wasn't a correctional officer for that long. And he said it as if like he had just started and then he just left, like he started, probably was there for a month or two, something like that, and then he left. But I believe the facts show exactly that he was a correctional officer for almost 2 years. And I really wish Tia Kemp would talk about that because it is important. Why are you lying to us about who you are? Like, you were not a drug dealer with the D. We know you wasn't, dude. Okay? We could tell you wasn't. Like, who you think you're fooling? But yeah, so I thought that was very interesting how he was mad. He was upset about that conversation. He did not want to hear or talk about that conversation. He dissed him so many times. He said that he was he pretty much was saying that he was broke. He was like, they lied about how much money he used to make before he got locked up, talking about Freeway Rick Ross. They said he was making all this money, right? Where is it at? Don't usually when a drug dealer go to jail, all his money disappear or something? I don't know. I don't know. He said he was on drugs, the one with the big C, not the C and Coco, it was the other C. And he said he was on him. He was like I guess Ricky Rose Ross has like a maybe a partnership or something with the dentist office, and he was like, "Yeah, you should have told him about my dentist. He's all plaqued up, just plaque build up all on his teeth." And I was like, "You stole that man identity." And you tried to steal that man identity. You thought we wasn't going to find out. You thought we wasn't going to put you on blast. Because if you think about it, now I'm 43 years old. I love to admit this, okay? But I remember back in the day, social media wasn't as big as it is now. So times have changed. We have a lot of information that's available. So as the years go by, my phone is about to die. But as the years go by, we get more and more information. We can fact check a lot of stuff that we used to couldn't fact check in the 90s, right? Or even early 2000s, really. So yeah, he was hella upset, but he definitely was promoting all his businesses and everything and his partnerships. He said he partnered with Easy Fuel or Fuel Easy Fuel is a company that'll come to you and fill your car, boat, um, jet with gas or something. He was just talking about all his partnerships that he had. And he was like, why are we talking about someone like him, talking about Freeway? He said, why are we talking about him instead of my partnerships? You know, someone who got something, who got stuff going on. And I'm just thinking how, ooh, I hope he got his ducks in order for real, because the cockiness and the ego was like at an all-time high, and I feel like he'll fall real hard. I remember he did an interview with someone, and I believe he has, or the house he lives in was in a lot of movies. I do know that. But I believe it was Evander Holyfield's house before. It was some boxer's house. I can't remember which one. That's alleged, okay? I can't remember which one. But I remember he did Rick free no Ricky Rose Ross did an interview, and he said how whoever had that house first, he couldn't even afford it. I believe whoever had the house first, he got that house built from the ground up. And it was supposed to be worth like 20 something $1 million. But Ricky Ross said that he got it for 5 million. But he said it's worth over $30 million. So and that house is in Atlanta. It was in the movie Coming to America. It was a lot of other movies was filmed there on his property, and also the house is definitely T. Okay, but the cockiness and the ego is just like, I just feel like when he fall, he's gonna fall hard, and hopefully he ain't mess with nobody. Hopefully he ain't did no girl wrong, because him talking about taking 50 Cent's son fishing, I'm thinking 50 gonna come back at him real hard. So yeah, if you hear anything in the YouTube streets and the social media world with 50 and Rick Ross, then you already know what time it is. This is possibly why. Because, yeah, like I said, that interview was done yesterday, and Rick Ross is, he was not playing. Definitely was not playing with 50 Cent. And he kept going on and on and on about 50 Cent, talking about 50 Cent. He said he didn't know how to dress. And I thought that was strange because allegedly P. Diddy tried to take 50 Cent shopping. Oh my goodness. And I was thinking, Dad, why are you worrying about another man how he dressed? I thought that was strange, in my opinion. I don't know, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it all. Yeah, definitely check out the interview. It was good. It was hella long, but it was good. But yeah, um, that's pretty much it. I don't know what else is going on. That's the only thing I could catch today, as far as the social media world. Um, yeah, what else is going on? I probably will be back later on once I do some research and see what's been going on out here. This man out here in my neighborhood, he feeds cats, and I swear I don't know where all these cats come from, but they follow him. Must be to his house. But it's like, where all them damn cats come from following this one guy? It looks real weird. So that's why I got caught up watching just now. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about it in the comment section. I'm thinking it's about to get messy. 50 Cent is going to come back with a vengeance. I'm thinking he has to comment about Rick Ross going in on him. He's going to do something. Oh, and then David was like, oh, well, 50 Cent, he has money. He did the documentary on P. Diddy. He said that did real well. And he was like, man, he ain't make no money. He didn't own none of that. They paid him a little bit of change, and he didn't own none of that. He said all his movies he did, 50 Cent did, he didn't make no, he didn't have any ownership in it. He just made a little chump change. He said that's why he went broke. That's why he had to file for bankruptcy. And but yeah, I thought that was real crazy. But you guys, y'all go check out the video. All right. Like I said, I'll possibly be back here with another video real soon, probably later on after I let my phone charge. Because it could have been on the charger all this time. It could have been on the charger, but it wasn't. But thank you to all my new subscribers. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And I'll be back with another one. Thank you so much for watching. Peace, you guys.